Almost a worldwide program now, the holistic approach to
on all things yoga, such as instruction, mats, props, clothing, weekend workshops, books and videos, could be conservatively estimated at $1,500 per year. That amount times 18 million practitioners equals $27 billion. To put it into perspective, if the yoga business were consolidated, the resulting corporation would be slightly larger than Dow Chemical, slightly smaller than Microsoft. And joining us to discuss the business of yoga are Christina Niven, an instructor and practitioner, and we're also joined by Temi Ungerman-Sears, the founder of YogaBuds. Thank you both for joining us today. Now, I was floored by those figures. I knew yoga was big. I had no idea how big it was. But how would you both explain this boom in yoga? Christina, you first.
Well, I mean, yoga is an ancient tradition. It goes back 5,000 years. So I think it's a tradition that has lasted through time, and in the West, it's something that is needed. And I think that there's a fundamental benefit and truth in yoga that people find when they experience it. They find that their lives begin to change, that they begin to change. They feel better, their health improves, they feel calmer. You know, the benefits of yoga really speak for themselves. So I think, you know, personal interest by individuals, I think they're drawn to that, and they'll probably stay with it as long as they really feel the fruits of it, the benefits. And, you know, unfortunately, there's always, you know, people can also take advantage of that. They can see an opportunity where there's the opportunity, or where there's the chance to make money, and kind of get on a bandwagon. And you know, that's kind of the nature of our society, right? I was
going to say, I guess it's unavoidable if you're living in North America to a certain extent. But Temi, I wanted to ask you the same question. What need do you think yoga is filling within North America, considering how huge it's gotten?
I think there's a need for people to just slow down, to balance their lives, to get back in touch with themselves and their true values, and to find some methodology or, excuse me, path that takes them there. And I think yoga is filling that need and providing that answer.
But are we seeing more people like Father Pereira who are finding health and even medical applications for yoga? For instance, in both your practices, do you have people coming to you whose doctors have recommended that they start yoga for various conditions? Christina?
Definitely. I have one student who is disabled, completely paralyzed, and we do work, you know, basically from here up. And for her, it's you know, also to strengthen her upper body, but it's to help her inner being, her calm her mind, that kind of thing. And her doctor recommended it. I have other students that you know, their lower backs bother them, or they're really stressed out. They need to kind of calm down, and their doctors have recommended yoga.
And Temi, what kind of health conditions does yoga, is it beneficial for?
A whole range, the entire range of ailments, from physical, psychological, psychosomatic, emotional.
Could you give me some for instances?
Well, sure.
In terms of
you know, the stress manifests in all different ways for each individual. It can be through an arthritic attack, it can be through migraine, insomnia, anxiety, low back and neck issues often show up. And so the yoga applied therapeutically is incredibly powerful and provides people not only with hope, but with actual healing, and if not healing, then preventative measures from it progressing to a worsened state. And in the system that I practice, which, like Father Joe, is Iyengar Yoga, we provide our students with several props to support them in the posture, so that if a person has a limited range of motion, that's not an issue, because the props will support them and guide them and enable them to do all the poses just to their limit.
But is there a risk of injury through yoga for people who are coming there, say, who do have back problems or knee injuries, and they're trying to strengthen their core or their back muscles or their knees again? Is there a risk for injury?
I think that the the challenge with that is correct instruction. And it's very important that the instructor be well trained, certified, and that the student receive lots of individualized attention. So when a student comes into a class, it's his or her responsibility to inform the instructor, hopefully through a medical form that they've filled out, but also verbally of their situation, so that the instructor, who hopefully then is trained, can work with that student on an individual basis to modify the poses as required.
So it's obviously a very good idea not to just grab a video, but to go out and get professional instruction.
Especially if you have a specific condition.
Excellent.
And not be shy about asking the instructor, you know, what his or her qualifications are. I really suggest for anyone, especially with a physical condition, that they don't be afraid to ask, because it's really important that the instructor does know what he or she is doing.
Excellent. Well, we'll be hearing more about yoga after the break. We have a special surprise. Our thanks to Christina Niven. But next on Medical Intelligence, Temi will have a couple of special guests demonstrate the importance of starting yoga at an early age. Please stay with us.
Call the Rogers Television Viewer Response at 1-800-939-7787 or visit our website with your comments. Sharing information, ideas, and points of view. This is Rogers Television.